And we're live.
I don't know. I got a topic for conversation. I guess I thought Chiz wanted me to come on and talk about this actually right after it broke, but we got canceled super heavily by fat chicks.
I know.
I don't know if you guys heard about this.
I heard a bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah, this was pretty juicy. So these fat chicks dredged up an old podcast clip of mine from December that I just had no recollection of. Mm-hmm. And looking back, it was one of those rants that just comes from above where it's you can't even take credit for it. Like I imagine Beethoven composed symphonies that were similar. Yeah. It's just out of nowhere. It was you haven't heard this thing. It was the point where you're like 75% through your podcast. So for you guys, it's maybe the 3-hour, 15-minute mark where the conversations died out. There's a lull, sort of like there is right now. So I just come in with, is there anything more worthless than the bottom half of a fat girl? I mean, and especially a titless fat girl. And I said, if her boobies don't come out past her big belly, she should be shot in the head like a cow. Woody, I'm talking about the issue I had with obese women. They tried to cancel us lately. So it was. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I didn't miss the beginning.
He's just now starting. Yeah.
I'm just cooking up. I was just telling them it came from one of those moments where there was just a lull in the podcast. Like last December, we were just bored. We were about to go on vacation. I wasn't taking it seriously. And I just started talking about how nothing is worse than the bottom half of a fat girl, because the good thing about a fat girl, and I was fucking around, is that it's easy to get a blowjob, and generally their tits are large enough to be fuckable.
To be fun.
Yeah. And if you can get them in a hot tub, the tits will be bobbing above the surface.
You got a problem with this?
It got a little, it got a teensy bit worse, Woody. I suggested that because the bottom half of fat women is so worthless that we should really just bring back feudal samurais and put the fat women into warehouses, and we measure their tit to belly ratio. If the areolas don't protrude past the navel, then the samurai guy walks up, pulls a katana, and I'm talking a katana as sharp as the one from Kill Bill. Something like that. Just pull it out, and that woman should just be bisected, rather, right there on the warehouse floor. And that's all I remember saying. I haven't gone back and watched the full clip, but the way I said it, and again, it was completely non-intellectual. It was just this passion that welled up inside of me. Yeah. And
you didn't have a study.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't pre-written material, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Okay. But and then I saw it like in March. It surfaced on this Tik Tok called The Best of Podcasting, and it was there for positive reasons. Like the guy who ran the page thought it was really funny, and a bunch of kids in the comments fucking loved it. But then, oddly, 5 months or however long it's been since March later, the feminists got their sweaty, grubby fingers on it. A bunch of them, I heard about it for like a week before anything of consequence happened. People will tell me about it on Patreon. They DM me. I'd be like, yeah, the fats. And then it got really big because some girl with 500,000, 1 million TikToks started talking about how these men need to be kicked off the internet. YouTube needs to change their community standards, and these men need to be deplatformed. So from that point on, it was a feeding frenzy, almost literally a feeding frenzy. Hungry fat women were in my comments. And we were talking about earlier Wings, how people are calling him a rapist. And we also talked about how these fat women are saying it's not all right to have preferences. Well, sort of in that same vein, their logic was that because I had said mean things in complete jest, obviously, about fat women, that now I was no longer a person, and that anything that was said or done to me was completely valid. So seeing the true colors of the woke mob was very interesting. These people who claimed to be moral and like ethically,
this guy said something I don't like. take his livelihood from him.
Dude, everybody was calling my girlfriend like the meanest things you could possibly think. I was called a rapist. They were attacking my hairline. A rumor got out that I was 5'5", and everybody was like height shaming me.
Call you fat.
Isn't that funny? It's like, haha, this guy said horrible things about fat women. He's 5'5". Attack him! Attack him! What a loser!
He's got a small dick. He's balding. He's got sun damage under his eyes. His girlfriend's a fucking ugly cunt. Like, and then like people would go as far as telling me they hope my parents get raped and murdered in front of me. But yeah, man, it was fucking hilarious though, because it's one thing to get canceled for saying something racist. Then it's not exactly cool or humble to be retaliating, to be talking shit back. And if you get canceled for some sort of sexual thing, then that's really taboo, and there's not much you can do.
Sexual act, like
making jokes is different than raping
non-consensual sex.
Yeah, exactly. Like if that happens, even if it's a false accusation, you kind of just have to deny and then just kind of disappear for a while. But when it's fucking fat jokes, like you can say anything you want back to these people. So just every day on my Instagram story and my posts, it would be more thinly veiled fat jokes. Like, hey guys, dropping some more merch this week. Bad news, however, there was a fire at the fulfillment center and all women's sizes other than extra small were burned. Please support anyway. I hope you guys will pick up a shirt. And it was something like that constantly. And then like after every one of those, they'd be like, hey guys, I really feel awful about that last joke. I swear this is getting to me. Tomorrow I'm going to apologize. I will. And then the next day comes and it's fucking, I'm enlisting a new exercise program in my YouTube crew, and they will be fired if their body fat percentage ever exceeds 5. And it's like, it's still been going on. and these women still want us to like apologize. And some of them are still holding their breath. Like, you said you were going to apologize. And when you called the situation your Bay of Pigs, that wasn't an apology. That wasn't an apology. To be fair,
that's far and away the best joke. This is your Bay of Pigs.
Ladies, if you want to get to Danny, the trick is a hunger strike.
There we go. Yeah. Hey, full disclosure, Taylor, that was my buddy cigar guy who came up with that one, so it wasn't even my joke.
That was a good one though. I like
the rant is
or maybe the Battle of the Bulge.
The Battle of the Bulge is good too. Nice, fucking solid, dude. But yeah, all they ended up being able to do was they canceled
Sauce War.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a historical event, but it's still funny. Is that real?
Yeah.
Okay, sauce war. All they ended up being able to do, because I mean, fat people aren't a protected category. There's no YouTube community guideline that protects them,
except from drowning.
But yeah, all they could do, they canceled our live podcast. They canceled 2 of them we were trying to do in LA, a stand-up venue called Fourth Wall here. Just completely pushed out. And then
LA
fucking losers
on board with the anti-fat thing. I feel like it's part of the culture there.
Dude, that's very true as well.
LA.
I mean, that's
Danny's outranked.
The economy.
Got to go with whoever's higher on the woke totem, right?
So they canceled 2 events, one both in LA, maybe.
Yeah, so we ended up just doing the live show in a park, and it still worked. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just interesting to see. The big takeaway to me was that how full of shit the woke left really is, because it became clear that what this was it was just whenever somebody is canceled, quote unquote, it's just the starting gun that allows miserable people who like leftist politics or their new religion, it gives them the starting gun to go be awful. Like, it's okay it's like the purge. For the next 2 weeks, you can do whatever you want to this canceled person, and you're still a good person. That was really interesting to see. Yeah. And lastly, it's fun to see what happens when somebody tries to cancel you and you just keep making fun of them. It just goes away. Like, it just peters out, and it makes them so mad.
Yeah, it was just mad delicious. About someone else making fat jokes or someone doing something they don't like. And it's funny, like, it's always like, especially with like fat stuff, it's like so obviously it's always there's not a brigade of very thin people going to your fucking comment section and being like, solidarity with my enormous brothers and sisters. Like it's always someone like whatever their pet thing is, that's what they freak out about, and everything else is fine. Their pet thing isn't that you could be short or that you could have a little dick, so they don't care about that. They don't care about body shaming.
Both of which are true.
Yeah, you're 5'1", and if anything, like making fun of someone's height is infinitely meaner than weight. You can't go on a heightening diet.
Yeah,
that's just who you are. You could lose weight.
The dick size thing, I feel like, is maybe worse. I don't know. Like you
can't grow your dick either.
You can't grow your dick, and if it's too small, there can be like a whole sense of, I don't know, lack of self-worth around it. Whereas short guys can just hold their chin up high and be okay.
Well, that's too high.
They hold their chin up medium, and
yeah. But if your dick's 2 inches long, like that sucks, man. Like it's
2 inches long. That is brutal.